that album, that second album that you're on about there, actually became the top contemporary jazz album of the year, even beating the Grammy award-winning album by Quincy Jones.
Well, it's incredible. I really was overwhelmed with the response to our music at that time. It was something that, it's funny because we didn't really have a contract when we were working on this album, that first album, that Time and Tide album, and we didn't really know if there is anyone who's going to like it. These were just songs that we would like to hear, let's say. They had some jazz influences, but they had also soul influences, which I mentioned before. I was very much into all this soul American music, and we were so lucky that people responded so warmly towards it. And it's true, we were surprised with positions on charts and with the things that were happening. I've been there on every TV show at that, especially around the beginning of 80s, that exists in America, and every chat show. And I've been constantly in the States. I used to go there so often and perform and also perform on TV. So America was really good to us, but there were other places in the world which also were very good for us, places like Japan and Indonesia and the Philippines, and very musical places which until now we visit and seem to stay with us also throughout our career.
I was going to say to you, the third album, Sweet Illusion, released in '94, that was a global success. Really took you way beyond the States and right out around the entire world.
Well, exactly that. The Sweetest Illusion was actually our biggest success in Japan, although the first two did well, but the third one was the biggest. I think it was a platinum album, and that was a lovely surprise. And it was great because I played in places like Budokan, which were just legendary places in Japan. And also, as I said, we went also to other Far Eastern countries, and we were planning the same thing this year in December. I'm going to also to Indonesia, Singapore. I've been to Japan just recently. So it's wonderful to have such an incredibly global spanning career, which takes us to the most wonderful places, and we make friends with people who seem to have our music in common, which is really something quite unbelievable. I pinch myself every day, thanking my lucky stars, really.
Now, moving on to 2004, Danny White and Mark Riley put back together again Matt Bianco, and I believe it took a little bit of encouragement, but you went back with them and did Matt's Moods, which was released to fantastic acclaim.
Well, I really loved working on this album. It seemed so easy, maybe because we were older and more experienced. The pressures weren't the same. We knew what to expect. We didn't have this the same attitude to work as before. That's why maybe it was easy to write. This time, three of us were equal partners. We all three of us contributed to writing and to production of this album, and I was glad I did it because I had a very long break after a few unhappy events in my life, starting with the death of my mum, and I just really didn't feel like sort of singing. But I was really glad I finally decided to make this record with Matt Bianco, because it was just less pressure and pure fun. With that record, we toured the States, also did lots of promotions around the world. Oh, we also went to Japan with that record. It was really great, and sometimes when I hear some of the songs, occasionally I just get surprised how good they are. I know it doesn't sound very modest, but it was. I can hear that we were just enjoying ourselves. That's why I'm glad I did it, and it brought me back to work, and that's why straight after that album, Danny and I made our own record again.